Hey, welcome back to the table. So here's our situation. We got Ulrich surrounded here, and then we have two traps. The two traps are our top priority. Ulrich can handle himself against these guys just fine. This one has a green attack, which would tear Ulrich up a bit. But we have at least three other characters in the room with Ulrich ready to go. I'm not going to be able to open up a new room today, I don't think. But we should be able to get some damage in and tear these guys up a bit. Obviously, Willow is in the back here. She needs to get some moving going on. But that's our situation. So let's go ahead and get started. I think I'm going to go ahead and have Ulrich start first. Well, actually, we're going to probably have, because you can see here we have 3 dark dice. And I'm going to have, Huey go first. Because he can change the altar dice, or just at least roll some of them. And then, just a reminder, we actually have this card. Willow has this. So she can change 2 altar dice anytime she wants, or she can exhaust to roll one. Now, is this really important? No, because we have melody tokens that she gives out to everybody, and everybody has at least one. So they don't necessarily need the altar dice to match what they're looking for. But you know me, I get the melody tokens and I try to game the altar dice as if I didn't have them. So that's what we're going to do. So Huey will go first. Huey's card says he may move up to 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And with his line of sight, any square of his can see any square of that one. This wall would block maybe this guy back here. You could probably argue that he could still even see the guy in the back, but it doesn't matter. And then he can attack with his magic, and his range is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to attack this guy in the back. He only has 1 armor, and he's also the biggest threat to Ulrich. Alright? So, fight! Okay, here we go. We're going to do 2 magic dice, and those are 2 hits. And the guy has 1 armor, so 1 hit gets through. So not an awful lot, and I'm looking for the guy. Here we go. He's Hightower's man. Alright, so we did 1 damage to him. That wasn't the primary reason we picked Huey. The reason we picked Huey is he can use... He can use a water drop to change 2 other dice, but there are no water drops. And he would have had to not attack in order to re-roll 2 of those dice. So I just totally screwed up. I'm not going to retcon it. He did his 1 damage. We'll let it go. But I was supposed to... well, here. We're gonna use this to roll 1 altar die. We're not going to get rid of the card. We're just going to roll 1. So there we go. Still not enough to help him, but so yeah, my apologies there. Okay, Rowan is going to be able to do some damage to traps, but he's going to need to spend movement points just to get to the traps. So we need to be able to help him move, and that requires a diamond. Should he go next? No. We're going to have Ulrich go next. And I just realized Ulrich never drew a card at the end of the last round. So we did that. And I think everybody else did. So, okay. So Ulrich is next to a bunch of guys. Let's see what we can do here. The card that he drew from the last round was Lead by Example. You may move up to 3 spaces and attack. Orange. Before rolling dice for this test, you can discard an inspiration to reduce the defense by 1. Okay, so he has 3 inspiration tokens he can still give out. And he can use a diamond to get 1. He can use a flame to deal damage to any enemy within range. And his pendant, of course, will give him a crit. Alright, so let's he has 2 melody tokens, so he can definitely use symbols that the dice don't represent if he needs to. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to do straight up attacks with his sword. He does have a Stalwart Commander. It's a feat. Each hero may discard an inspiration token to gain a focus and an armor. And then he can use the lightning ring. Each hero gains an inspiration. You know what? Since it's a feat, let's do that. So I'm going to show you the card. Every hero can discard an inspiration to gain 1 focus and 1 armor. And then everybody's going to gain an inspiration because we're going to use the lightning ring. And every single hero has an inspiration. There's 1 here. There's 5 there. Huey somehow or another has 2. Rowan has 1. And Willow also has 1. So they're going to spend 1 and get 1. And so they all get a focus and an armor. And what's awesome is they all need a focus and an armor. So Willow gets her 3rd focus and another armor. Rowan gets his 2nd focus and an armor. Ulrich gets his 3rd focus and an armor. And even Hightower is up to his 5th focus and another armor. So this armor stuff is really good. Now, granted, they don't help with resist, but for the enemy attacks with the inflict, they do help. Okay, so that was a nice use of a feat. And it was also a good reason. And look at this. We have bad dice. Okay, so now let's, yeah, I'm going to do the thing where I'm looking at this one. Valiant Stand. Each hero may discard an inspiration to change an altar die, and then they can discard another inspiration to attack. Now, every hero has 1 inspiration, so we could just manipulate these dice if we want. I mean, we can use one of these with Rowan, but the other 2 are definitely fair game to be re-rolled. I'm half tempted to say that Rowan would be the only one that would use this card. He still gets to attack. He will be spending 2 inspiration. But then here it says on the bottom, deal 1 damage. So he'll get to do a free damage in addition to his attack. So that's what he would do. He would change to a water drop so we can trigger this. And remember, we have melody tokens, so I'm going a little out of my way to manipulate the dice when I don't need to. And then we can have, melody or somebody get rid of their inspiration token. I don't know if we need to, but I'm going to have Hightower. We're going to have Melody get rid of hers. So she's going to lose her inspiration token. And Ulrich will lose 2 inspiration tokens. And we're going to set 1 to a diamond. Now that diamond is going to give Ulrich an inspiration token back. So it's sort of like a little bit of meandering. But yeah, we're going to re-roll both of these. And these, of course, are for future actions. We got to finish this action first. Okay, so Ulrich spent 2. 1 to change the die, the other to be able to do this red attack right here, which is what he's going to do. So he's going to do a red attack, and we're going to attack this guy. So we're going to roll 3 dice, and we got 2 plus that. Now, for a lightning ring, for an inspiration, I can add a crit to this with the pendant. I will do that, and then I'm going to spend a melody token. So that's going to go back. So the pendant, we're going to do this for the crit, but we're going to use the lightning ring, which I wouldn't have had yet, right? So I used a melody token to trigger this. Each hero within range gains an inspiration, and the range 5. I don't care if the only person in range is himself, but he's still at 4 inspiration tokens now, which, like I said, I always like to keep him with a healthy number. You just saw he just burned through, 3 or 4 of them in this action. But by doing that, I added a crit, and I don't know where the crit is, but then we're going to roll another die because of the crit, and that also crit. So I'm just going to pick this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We're going to roll again. That's another crit for 5. And then that's 6 and another token. Okay, so our guy here, I just did 6 hits to him. 1 armor's off. He only has 6 hit points. He has 2 damage already. We overkilled him. So I can do that and then take 2 focus for Ulrich from the dice. So that guy's defeated, and we gain a supply. So this guy's gone. And then, like we said, we spent the water drop to do 1 extra damage somewhere. So we're going to dish that out right now, and I'm going to damage the blue brooder. That's next to him. Alright, so that was 1 action. The Illuminatory Pendant is already gone. So we're going to have to be a little bit more creative here. His star, he's too far away to help. But what we're going to do now is we're going to attack with the sword. And I'm going to attack this yellow guy. Even with the sword, he still gets 3 dice. So action number 2, we're going to attack with the sword. And there's 1, 2, 3 hits with 2 of those. Now the sword I can spend a fire to deal damage to an enemy within range. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend a fire to deal a damage. And that damage is going to be to the blue one. The blue brooder. Now the yellow brooder has, let me find him. He has 1 hit on him. This is what we're up against. He has 1 hit on him and 2 armor. So right now, the 2 armor would negate these 2 dice. I would get 1 hit on him, which would be 2. And then this would be 3 and 4. And actually, that 1 extra damage that we put on the other guy, I would put on him. So I'm going to spend the 2 focus, plus the 1 damage from spending the fire, and we're going to kill this guy. So the yellow is toast. And I probably should have killed the blue one, to be honest, because I'm thinking, you know what, if Rowan comes in and uses his rope, he can use the rope to affect a trap and stun one of these guys, as long as they're all in range. And I killed the one that's closer to the trap, which doesn't necessarily help us. Okay, there's still 1 more action left. I can attack the blue brooder. I just don't think I'm going to be able to kill him. But let's see what we can do. So there's 1, 2, and then I could potentially get 3, 4 with 2 more focus. So I will. I'll spend 2 more focus. And I just did 4 damage to him, but he has 2 armor, so it's a net of 2 damage. And he's 1 hit point away from dying. So if there was anything I could do to just issue 1 more damage to him, it would kill him. But that's where the other characters come in. So Ulrich was able to flex a bit. Ulrich von Lichtenstein just won another jousting tournament. What Well done. Okay, if we can get next to the alchemist desk, you will heal. But I'm not worried about that. So let's get Rowan going here. And I'm just looking for anything that would help him move. So, unfortunately, I don't think... I mean, he actually has a few options that he has in his cards. I'm just looking to see, like, if I had another player go first, could they move him? And we tried that, but Willow already used up all of her cards to move other people. Okay, so Rowan has a couple tricks up his sleeve. The first one is this one. He can discard one inspiration to move up to 2 spaces and perform an action. And he can heal damage or gain an inspiration if he spends a fire. So he'll get his inspiration back. He'll lose the card though, but he'll get the inspiration. I mean, we gave that card to him for a reason. So what that does is, 2 and perform an action. And that action could be like a move. So he'll get a 4th action, right? If we do that. The other one is he has the Trapper's Rope, where if we exhaust it with a diamond, he can move his figure in any space within range, which is 3 away. And then he has the ability for each success, choose a figure within range to move 1 space. Okay, so I'm going to play a melody token, because there isn't a diamond. So he's going to use his rope effect and get to basically move up 3 spaces for free. Okay. Next, he can... He's going to use this along with the fire. We'll go ahead and re-roll the fire now. So he's going to move 2 spaces and then gets to perform an extra action. Alright, so 1, 2, he's now in range of everything and gets to perform an extra action. So he's going to use the Trapper's Rope. And it's basically you exhaust 1 minion within range and then place 2 progress on a trap within range. And it doesn't matter that the range goes in different directions. So that particular minion is... What did I do with it? Oh, he's over here. He's exhausted. And then we're going to put 2 progress on one of the traps. Doesn't matter which one, they both do the same thing. So we'll go ahead and put it on the green trap. Alright, that was a free action because of what he did. Now, I have a thing called Just a Bury, where I could deal 1 damage to every enemy adjacent to a hero. And it also would let me move some more spaces. But I don't think I need to do that. What I'm going to try to do is we want to do something that lets us move next to the trap so he can... I mean, we could do the rope. It puts 2 progress on a trap, but I don't have enough actions to destroy both traps. So if I can figure out how to get next to the traps without triggering them, and this guy has the ability to do that, then we can just do 1 action on each trap and kill them outright. So let's see what else he has. So his Bury Scurry, which is on his character card, I can exhaust the wave, move up to 2 spaces, moving through any enemies and ignoring trigger effects. Then I may discard a focus to gain a supply. So I'm going to do that. I hate doing that because this is like the most precious die result to get. But we're going to move up and we don't trigger anything. And he could discard a focus to gain a supply. We're not going to do that. There's only 4 supply left in the pool. What we're going to do, though, is now that I'm next to those traps, we're going to go after him. Okay, so the green trap already has 2 progress on it. So what I'm going to do is You know what? If I'm going to move 2, I would move like this, so now I'm next to that. Okay, we're going to go after the yellow. The yellow has not been touched, so let me put it up here for you. That's the trap again. We have to test orange, and we need 4 progress. His orange skill is a whopping 1. What was I thinking? That's not a good move. He actually has 3 actions. So he could do this without needing to do... Okay, so he's just going to do rope, rope, rope. That's what he's going to do. So action 1, rope. Action 2, rope. Action 3, rope. So action 1 will destroy the green chest, and action 2 and 3 will destroy the yellow one, because every rope action puts 2 progress on. So that's what we're going to do. So all 3 of his actions will destroy both of the chests. That's better than trying to pass a test against something that requires orange, and his orange skill is only 1. And I'm trying to find the other trap, like where it went. I think I may have mistakenly... No? Oh, it's right here. That's where it is. So we actually get 2 supply for that. And both traps are gone, which is a very, very, very good thing. Okay, so all we have left now is 1 guy with 1 health. And we still have Willow and Hightower. So I'm going to activate Willow next. And for her 3 actions, it's going to be 1 action. We could go into a room. Do I really want to be that aggressive? I sort of do. And I keep forgetting to put a door up. Screw it. Let's go through the door. So that'll be her 2nd action. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, yep. So she'll have 1 action left after going through this door. And maybe that's not a great move, but we'll find out. Alright, so first thing we do is we draw a feature card, and we found the Blessed Fountain. You may roll an altar die if you're next to it, and do a blue search, which the Hightower is really good at. So the Blessed Fountain is one of the coolest miniatures here. Looks like this. Alright, then we draw a quest card, which you know darn well is going to be attached to it. It says, when revealed, each hero may discard a focus to change an altar die. Oh, that's actually a decent one. So we can discard a focus to change an altar die. Well, she will do that. She'll discard 1 focus, and she's going to change this to that. Alright, and then we have to spawn. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's Willow. Willow gets a trap. That's not good. Because I don't think we're going to be able to destroy the trap before it triggers. And remember, if you don't have a minion in front of you, the trap generates one. A cannibal goes in front of Rowan. And the cannibal actually starts quite far away, down here. And then Ulrich gets a burner. And it's green. And then Hightower gets a cannibal. And it's blue. Now, if you're playing a 2-player game, I don't think it requires that much explanation, but you're not going to burn through the Regulander deck as quickly as we are. So it is possible you could play a whole mission and not get through the deck. We, of course, with 4 players, are going to be generating 4 at a time. So it's a little more risky. Okay, so here's what's really cool. If you look at how this played out, that trap is right in front of her. So we're going to spend our 3rd action to try to disarm the trap. And yes, we said it was the orange skill, but her orange skill is 2. So she gets to roll 2 dice to try to disarm that trap. And Hightower's right next to her, so he could use the Star of Elune to give her a crit. But let's see how she rolls with her 2 dice first. And you can see she got 2 successes. So he's going to use the Star of Elune, give her a crit, and then we'll roll for the crit. And you can see we actually got 4 successes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then she even gets a token out of the deal. So that's awesome. And we already destroyed the trap, and she didn't even trigger it because she did not move next to the trap. The trap appeared next to her. Just one of the nuances with it. So that was an excellent use of her 3rd action. I was hoping to maybe give out some melody tokens, but that wasn't bad at all. Okay, so trap is destroyed. We do get another supply for it, and we're down to just 1 left. And if you look over here, that's our supply pile. We're doing excellent. Okay, she's out of turns. I realized I forgot to draw a card for Ulrich from his deck. So let's do that. It was Sacred Ground. So it's a search card, basically. And then for Rowan, I didn't draw for him either. He got another one of these. He already has one, the Just a Bury. And now for her, she got Battle Hymn. It's an attack, but she can add a die if she has a melody token, which that's a really good card, actually. Okay, all that's left is Hightower. Now, Hightower actually has a decent number of shields. His green defense is awful, so this guy is the biggest threat against Hightower. These 2 are a big threat against Willow, because they attack with red and Willow's defense is only 1. Willow has an arsenal of shield tokens. Hightower's actually got a nice little collection himself. I don't really want to kill a monster now. Well, actually, I do now, because the trap's gone. I was going to say, we all need to have one in front of us, or the trap makes us draw another. That's not true anymore. So, what can Hightower do by himself, though? Not a whole lot. I mean, if you look at it, he's got to move into the room, which is going to cost an action. And then he only has 2 actions left after that. He can heal. He can get cards from his discard pile, add it back to his hand. And he does have an attack one called Luna's Wrath. Well, first things first, let's do this. Alright, he'll do a move, a 1, a 2, and a 3, so he's now next to this. And then he's 1, 2, 3, 4 away from these guys. Alright, so his first action was a move. His mace requires him to be next to them. That's not going to work. His Star of Elune is already used up. So he can do Luna's Wrath, and do a blue attack. Then it choose a hero within range to gain a focus. So he would choose Willow to get that focus. But here you go. Here's the Luna's Wrath card. So that's what he's planning on doing. And we're going to go ahead and attack the green grenade guy, because that's the one that's going to damage him the most. He only has 1 green defense. And there's that was a 3. It was this symbol here. So 1, 2, 3, and then he will spend a focus for 4. So he just did, he inflicted 4 hits, and then of course it blocks 1, so it only takes 3 damage. But 3 damage is good. He's halfway dead. And that was a second action for him. And this card's gone. And then that little fire on the bottom. Deal 1 damage to an enemy within range. So we're going to do that. And we got a diamond. Ooh. Let me take care of one thing at a time here. So we're going to deal damage. Should we hit the cannibals at all, or should we keep trying to kill this burner? We're going to try to kill the burner. So we're going to hit the burner for 1. So he's up to 4 out of 6 dead. We now have a diamond, which means his mace would actually work, but he has to be a range 1. He only has 1 action left. We have to get rid of the diamond, or otherwise bad things happens when they go. Alright, so he just has so many healing cards, folks. That's what the issue is. I mean, he's almost like too much of a healer. He's a lover, not a fighter. Alright, I have an interesting one where you can do a test. Oh, that's not even an action. Oh. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do rousing him. And this is, it's hard to read, but that's a feat. So that doesn't cost an action. He tests his purple. His purple is a 2. And he got 2 successes. So it says for every success, choose a hero to gain a focus. So he's going to choose, and it's choosing any hero, so he's going to choose Ulrich to get 1 and Rowan to get 1. Okay, next, it says at the bottom there, if we use the wavy symbol, choose a hero to perform an action. So we're going to use the wavy symbol, and he's going to choose himself. So what he's going to do is the action will be to move. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, get up close to these guys. They're going to attack him anyways, but this is a free action for him. So he was able to get a move in for free. So now he can hit with his mace. And the mace has this ability here where the diamond will deal 1 damage to an enemy within range. So we can get rid of that diamond. But he'll do a red attack. And the red attack is only 2 dice. But that'll be against the same guy, the burner guy. The burner guy only needs 2 hits to die, but he has 1 armor. So there's 2 hits, but only 1 would get through. So he'll spend a focus for 3. And so he actually does kill the burner, because he does 3 hits to him and needed to do 2 damage, which does happen. So he kills the burner. We get the last supply token. There's no more left. And the burner was his biggest threat. So anything after this is just gravy. And yes, we are going to use the diamond to inflict 1 damage. We got ourselves a nice wavy. And in doing so, he will do 1 damage to... Oh, it doesn't matter which cannibal. We'll just go ahead and pick the red one. Okay. And just to get the focus back over here, he damaged the red cannibal there. Okay, that brings the end to the hero turn. And now we gotta resolve the threat stuff. So these guys attack with a range 2. So this guy is gonna move 1 space back, and now both of them are gonna attack him. And then this one here, I gotta look it up. It attacks with a range of 1, so it just stays right where it is, and it's gonna attack Ulrich. Okay? It would have been nice to do that 1 extra damage now, but that's okay. It is what it is. Okay, so let's start with the attack on Ulrich. It is a green attack, which Ulrich is not good at all. He only rolls 1 die. So he gets 1 success against the green attack. He has 1 armor, natural, so he blocks 2. So that 5 becomes 4-3. And then he does have enough shields, 2-1-0, but that spends all the shields he has. So he did block it all. It just, he's now shieldless in terms of shield tokens. Alright, so now we move on to the cannibals, and they attack with a red 5 against Hightower, whose red dice are 2. So that's a crit. So Hightower blocks with 3. He has a natural armor of 1, so that's 4. And then he'll spend 1 shield token for 5. And then we'll do it again. And this time he only blocked 1. He has a token. He'll spend the token. And so he blocked 2. Natural armor makes it 3. And then he has to spend 2 shield tokens for 4 and 5. And believe it or not, he still has 3 more shield tokens left. So he was fine. There was no sweating of the bullets there for him. Okay, that phase is over. Now we move to the Gert phase. And just a reminder, the Gert phase requires us to do a resist 3 blue check. So that's what we're going to do next. So starting with Willow. She resisted 1. She could spend a focus to resist 2. She will do that, and she takes 1 damage. She's actually up to 4 damage. Then we go to Rowan. He rolls crap. He will take 3 damage. And he'll take the 2 focus tokens. So Rowan is actually in a bit of trouble now. And yes, I could have taken less damage if I wanted, but I didn't. And then Gavin, Mr. Ulrich, he blocks 2, so he takes 1. He's doing fine. And then Hightower blocks 2 and will take 1 damage and 1 focus. He's also doing fine. So Willow has just 6 health left. And Rowan has 5 health left. So they are a bit damaged. And now we got to do the Gert card. The Gert card is Thunderous Stomp. Each hero must test orange 3. And I'm going to move it to the other camera. So this is, you have to get 3 successes. It's a pass-fail. There's no other outcome. It's not like a resist test. Each hero who fails either discards an armor token or suffers a damage. This one's, I mean, it's hard to pass a 3 test, but you're either just losing an armor token or a damage. So, all right, so we're going to start with Willow. Those are both crits. She passes with flying colors. We go to Rowan. Those are both crits. He passes with flying colors. And he can't even get a token, dang it. So that was bad. Ulrich. Oh, I apologize. It's an orange test. So he only had 1 die for orange. I rolled 2 crits, so I'm going to keep the 1 crit. But there it is. He has 2 successes. He failed. And he's going to discard an armor. Now we go to Ulrich. That's a crit. There's 3 successes. And now, lastly, Hightower. He'll spend the 2 focus, and that counts as 3. Okay. So now, well, you know what? No, he's not going to spend the 2 focus. He's just going to take the 1 damage. Or he's going to discard 1 armor token. He has plenty. Okay, next. We go to the quests. Starting here. As you know, Willow has 2 clues, so she will spend 2 focus. Rowan has 1 clue. He will spend 1 token, and it's the fabric. Hightower has 1 clue, the crystal. He will spend 1 token. So this is resolved. We go to the stone altar. Nobody wants to spend focus to reroll dice. However, the altar is going to use this wave. Each hero with no focus, all of us have a focus, suffers 1 damage. Each enemy suffers 1 damage, and that's true no matter what. So we're going to go ahead and roll that. We get a diamond. And then as far as the damage goes, I know I don't always zoom out so you can see my table here, but this blooder takes a damage, and that's now 5 damage, so it's dead. Oh, and we attacked with the blooder. He was actually exhausted, so that red inflict 5 against Ulrich did not happen. Gosh, I don't even remember what I did for Ulrich, but I'm going to take 1 of his damage away. Actually, you know what it was? He didn't take any damage. He used, I think it was 3 shield tokens. I'll just take 2, because I don't want to go back and look up the video. The rope exhausted this one. It shouldn't have been attacking Ulrich when it did. Okay, so he's dead, is what I'm trying to get at. And we get a supply for that, but there aren't any. I don't know what the rules say about token limitation, but I'll have to check. In fact, and then we're going to do 1 damage to the other 2 guys, and they're both a long way from dying. So every enemy takes a damage. Okay, I'm going to pause real quick and check about the token limitation, but then what we're going to do is we're going to go through each of the features and apply whatever effect for whoever's standing next to them. Okay, I actually spent... Sorry for the pause there. I actually spent quite a few minutes trying to find the answer to that question. And first of all, you know I don't like the rulebook very much, and so in answer to a question like this, I skimmed the rulebook. If it's in there, I couldn't find it. I did find one Board Game Geek where somebody asked this exact question, and so they answered every single token except for the supply. So for example, progress and damage is unlimited. The shields, nobody knew. The focus tokens, of course, are limited. They have to be. Everybody has a maximum of 5. The inspiration and melody tokens are limited, of course. This, though, they didn't say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take quest tokens, or even progress tokens, because they look like little dollar bills, right? And those are going to count as supply. And we're going to just keep going. All right. So now that we're back and we're moving on, okay, nobody's next to the mushroom. Nobody's next to the weapon rack. Nobody's next to the cards. Nobody's next to the cage. There is one person next to this, and that is Rowan. And so he gets to heal 1 damage just for being next to it. So that's done. And then he's going to get to take the bottom card here, which, as you know, the card doesn't do anything. It just lets us draw from this other deck right here. So let's do that. And so he drew Toxic Gas. So he's the worst person in the world, but he can resist 4 orange. To discard this card, look at the bottom 2 cards, choose 1 to resolve, and shuffle the other back into the deck. Otherwise, discard this card and heal 1 damage. Okay, here's the problem. We need all the cards to come out. We need clues. So it would be nice to heal, but we're going to discard this card for sure, but we're going to have to do a resist 4, and he's in a bit of trouble because his orange ability is only 1. Out of all the people, he was the worst one to get this. So he did block 1, but he now takes 3 damage, and he's 7 out of 10 damage towards death. So for the first time, I'm actually nervous in this particular mission. The good news is he's not near an enemy, so it's going to be these crappy, resist cards that just globally attack you that are his threat. But he is next to the alchemy desk. Oh, sorry for bumping. And he can do a search in that room, and he'll be able to heal with the searches. Because you can see here, for each supply gained, choose a character in this room to heal 1 damage. So we're probably going to take advantage of that and get a search in for him. Alright, so with that being said, we get to draw, according to this, look at the bottom 2 cards of the clue deck, and we get to pick one to keep, and shuffle the other back into the deck. So here's the clue deck. The bottom 2 cards are these 2, so let's see what we get. The broken shard is needed by Hightower. The half scroll is something we've never seen before. So that's the 4th clue that we need. So I'm going to take the broken shard and give it to Hightower. Again, that rule we talked about that seems ambiguous. This was the interpretation by folks on Board Game Geek. Again, no official word that I'm aware of on that. So I did shuffle the other card back in, and there's 4 cards left. There's going to be another one like that toxic gas card. Now, next we move on to the little fountain here. And what that's going to do is that's going to let us roll an altar die. I tend to like the way the dice are, but I'm going to roll this dark one. And I rolled a dark anyways, so who cares? Nothing new happened there. And yes, a hero adjacent may roll 1 altar dice. That's what we did. Hightower is actually next to this. And so he is going to get to draw a clue card. And we're drawing from the top of the deck. And there it is, the Rip Fabric. So this is the one that Rowan needs. So we actually now have 1, 2, 3 full clues. So of these 3 cards, 2 of them are the 4th clue that we're looking for. So we still need, we have 2 more rooms to open. So that means of those 3 cards that are left, one of them is going to be another thing like that toxic gas that we just drew. Okay, so as we said, for sure we got to open the next 2 rooms. We can plan out the rest of this mission pretty well. This will be one of the rooms, and this will be the other room, and then you can see that the stairs are right there, and that's where we need to end up. So there's a part of me that feels we may want to open this room first, because well, it all depends on where the altar is, but nonetheless, that's our situation, and we move to the next round. So we're at 48 minutes. I'll go ahead and end the video. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome and stay healthy and safe.